Hi, it's Dan, and in this video, I'm going to be juicing some red currants. Also going to be talking about some of the different properties of them. Now, personally, I don't know a whole lot about red currants. I've got a red currant bush in my garden, a black currant bush in my garden, and I never really thought about juicing them. Just last week, my daughter made some black currant jam. My wife made some red currant syrup. But I hadn't thought about juicing them till last week. I was away at a camp teaching for about a week. There was about 60 people there. And I had brought my 707 with me because I like to have some fresh juice when I'm on the road like that. I also like to make a lot of salsa with it. And the head cook at the camp saw it, and she asked me if she could try juicing some currants in it, because she said that's very difficult. Again, I'd never thought of that. So she brought a whole bunch of red currants, black currants, and we juiced them. And it turned out pretty well. It was real thick like a smoothie. I was surprised. But she was real excited because it removed most of the seeds, which according to her is a pretty tough process. So what I'd like to do first of all is talk a bit about currants. Now, I see the currant bush in my garden. This time of year there's currants everywhere. Black currants, red currants, white currants. I'll go over and I'll pop a few of these in my mouth. And it turns out they're surprisingly healthy. They've got a lot of fiber in them. If you eat about a cup of these, you'll get about 5 grams of fiber. A cup will also give you almost all your vitamin C for the day. There's vitamin K in there. There's some antioxidants in there. They're really packing quite a nutritional punch. I don't like to snack on the black currants so much. They've got a different flavor, but they make great jams and syrups. Now, currants are notoriously difficult to juice. This is because of a few things. First of all, they've got those thick, hard seeds inside that in some juicers can plug it up, can jam it up. They also have a high amount of pectin. That's the thickener, which makes it so easy to make jam. When you make jam, you don't even need to add pectin. They've got a lot of natural pectin inside, but that is not conducive to juicing because it comes out so thick. What you can do though, and what I'm going to try later in this video, is juicing some of this and then adding a different kind of fruit, in this case watermelon, mixing it together. But first things first, I've got a bowl of red currants, I've got a 707 ready to go, so let's give it a shot. A couple of things about juicing currants. First of all, red currants will be the best. They tend to be a little firmer, have a slightly less, lower pectin content. Black currants are a little softer. White are somewhere in the middle. White are sweeter, so they make a kind of a nice juice right on their own. And the red does too, but I like to add things to it to sweeten it up. What you want to do though, you don't want overripe berries. The key is you want to make sure the stems are green. You know it's nice and fresh. As it gets overripe, it gets softer, the pectin content goes up. It's just not so easy for the juicer to handle. And when I'm juicing it, I need to go very slowly. I will leave the stems on. That'll add a bit of fiber just to kind of keep things clean and moving in there. When I was juicing at camp, I was actually mixing it. I was going from the currants, and then I would throw in an apple or a carrot, and that kept things moving pretty well in my experience. So I'm going to start, and again, you want to feed it slowly. Make sure the stems are on. Don't push the capacity of the machine here. So let me fire it up, and we'll just put them in a little bit at a time. It will take a little while before the juice starts coming out. And again, it's going to come out slowly. It's going to come out thick because of all that pectin. I was a little surprised last week, and one of the campers at this camp said, "Oh, you're making smoothies." I said, "No, this is actually what you get from currants." You can see the consistency down here. It's very thick. But you also notice something pretty cool. There's no seeds in there. So far, I haven't seen one seed. And if you try to remove seeds manually from currants, I don't know if you've tried it, there's a special tool people make to slice the currant open, then they push it through a strainer or a cheesecloth. It's a real time-consuming process. There's the seeds coming out, the skin's coming out, and the juice going here. So I'm going to continue slowly feeding these guys in so as not to overtax the auger. So as you can see, it's going pretty well. This is actually going a lot better than it went at camp. Last week, I just shoved a bunch of black currant, red currant into this thing, pushing it down. I wasn't even thinking, yeah, I should let it take its time. It didn't jam or anything. It processed fine, but it looked a little messy. This is going real nice and clean. One thing you want to take a look for, you can see if it's getting taxed, its capacity is getting a little full, you'll see the juice backing up in here. That means it can't strain it quite so quickly. If you see that happen, just sit back for a minute, 30 seconds. You'll see the level go down. It'll process it. Or you can do like I did, throw an apple slice, a bit of carrot in there. That will just clean it all out for you. So this is basically all of these things are done. You can see here what's coming out is just skins, stems, and seeds. And it's pretty nice. What we have here is completely filtered juice, basically, no seeds. And you'll notice I didn't use the strainer. I rarely use the strainer on my 707. You don't want to do that with currants because of that pectin content. It'll just back up. Even though it's pure juice, it really has a hard time going through that strainer. So I'm going to shut it down here and put it into the glass. We'll see what we've got. I'm going to take a look at it here. The consistency's great. It's a little thick, of course, from the pectin. Almost no foam in there, and no seeds, which is great. So there you have it. A glass ready to go of red currant juice. So now I'm going to make some juice. Now, a little currant goes a long way, so I like to mix it. It's sour, it's tart. Some people find that refreshing. I do too, but I prefer it a bit sweeter. I don't want to add sugar to it. It's possible to add a sweetener like honey, a little bit of honey in there, maybe a bit of maple syrup, but I think the best way is to mix it with another fruit or even a root vegetable. In this case, I'm going to mix it with watermelon. Other possibilities could be apples. You could mix some Granny Smith, especially with blackcurrant. Granny Smith and blackcurrant is a great combination. Like I said, I mixed it some with carrots. You can mix it with beets. And that makes it really great because those will push the things through. You would put your currants in first, and then you put your carrots and beets to kind of clean things out there. In this case, I'm going to go with the watermelon first. That's the softer fruit. I'm going to juice the watermelons, and then I'm going to put in the currants. And let's see how it goes. I'll need to use the pusher. The currant's self-fed fine. Watermelon might need a bit of help. Of course, watermelon juice is real easy. There's such a high liquid content. I'll get a lot of juice out of this. I'm going to go in a ratio of maybe 2 to 1, maybe even 3 to 1 in terms of volume, because this is mostly water, like I said. And these guys pack a punch. They are intense, a lot of flavor. I've used up the watermelon. Now, just like before, I'm going to slowly feed the currants through. Remember, a little currant goes a long ways. I'm keeping an eye on the transparent feeding tube here just to make sure it's not backing up. And so far it's doing fine. So here's the last bit of currant. I'm really pleased with how it's going through the machine. No backups at all. I put in a little more, so this is going to be pretty tart. The ratio was more like 2 to 1, not 3 to 1. So first thing I'll do is mix it together. Just kind of stir it together. Compared to the pure currant juice, this is a little thinner, but it's still pretty thick. You'll see when I pour it out. So here it is. This is ready for a hot summer day. Not so tart, but it will still be tart. So as you can see, the 707 had no problem with the red currants. Like I said before, be a little careful with the softer ones, black currants. Make sure your red currants are ripe. But if you've got a bush of currants out in your garden, or your grandma or your friend has some extra currants, why not try juicing them? You can mix it in with another fruit, just drink it straight. It has no problem. Remember, this is for making a glass of juice. You don't want to make huge liters of it. You want to feed it slowly, carefully, but I'm quite satisfied with the results. So thanks for watching. See you next time.